I want to talk to you about how the wealthy are able to continue to create more wealth, but also how they're able to multiply wealth and they're able to continue to protect what they create. You see, for you to create wealth, you need a level of wisdom. The level of wisdom that you obtain or you get for creating wealth is not always sufficient for you to multiply your wealth. And it's always almost not the same for protecting what you create. You need various levels of wisdom, meaning that the whole journey of wealth is one that involves continuous learning and study. Now, one of the very fundamental things that the wealthy do in terms of living a wealthy lifestyle comes down to how they invest time. I think time is the raw material for everything you want in life, especially wealth creation. If you don't understand time, there's no way you can become wealthy. You see, we all get the same amount of time, and this is the reason why I am of the opinion that wealth and poverty is a choice. And the reason I say that is because we all get the same amount of time. The difference is in how we use our time. I want to share 2 or 3 ideas that I think will be useful. I'm going to split this into 2 parts. Every day we get 24 hours, but we have 7 days in a week. And for most of us, we have 5 days for work and 2 days for rest. Now, because we spend approximately almost 50% of our waking day in the office, if you were to add travel time, it's about 70%. It means that every day we don't have much time to ourselves. However, what I've found from my experience, but also interacting with other people, is that you must invest some of your time in yourself on a daily basis. What the wealthy do is they spend between 1 and 2.5 hours every day developing themselves, creating more opportunities, study, practice, increasing their investment skills, learning every day. They do without fail. Now, some of these people are incredibly wealthy. So how do they do this? It's very simple. Every day we have 24 hours. How we use the 24 hours will really vary. On average, out of the 24 hours, most people only have about 4 hours of personal time. And that may not provide enough. What I found that the wealthy do is that the wealthy spend a portion of their sleep time. Most people sleep 8 hours every day. Those who are wealthy usually get about 6 hours every day. And 6 hours is actually quite generous. Some get less. But they get between 6 hours, and some people might go up to about 7 hours. But the key thing they do as soon as they wake up in the morning, they spend usually the first hour investing in themselves, investing in their mind, in study and reading. And because they realize that once they begin the day, something happens. And a lot of demands and requirements take over the whole day. They come back home overwhelmed and tired. So the first thing they do is invest in themselves. So what I want to suggest you do is every day when you wake up, the first thing I want you to consider doing is spend the first hour investing in yourself. How? Spend 1 hour in the morning investing in reading. As a matter of fact, most wealthy people read between 2 and 4 books per month. This means that in a year, many of them read between 40 and 50 books. Now, they already have wealth, but they still study. You have to become lifelong in learning. Now, once they've invested this first hour, what I found that they do also is they understand that this is not sufficient to maintain, to protect, and to create more of the good life that they have. So what they do is they take a portion of their travel time and they commit it to study as well. How? We spend between 1 and 3 hours on average traveling. And so what the wealthy do is they go for what we call study by audio means. You know, rather than listen to the news whilst traveling, perhaps they listen to an audiobook, a seminar recording, video, audio. But as they travel, they listen. And as they listen, they're studying. So if they spend 1.5 hours using audio learning, then it means every day the wealthy is spending about 2.5 hours investing back into their mind in creating more. Now this puts them at a great advantage. Now this is the difference really. Every day they're investing 2.5 hours of their entire 24 hours, reinvesting in their mind, in studying opportunities, in finding great investment strategies, in developing their mind, in creating more wealth, creating a good life, creating success and happiness. That means that they have much more than the average person on the street. So you have to also adopt this lifestyle. Now this takes them all the way down from Monday to Friday, assuming a 5-day workday. During the weekend, they understand that they need time for their family. However, now watch this. Most wealthy people, when they come back during the week after work, they know they have to spend time with their family. Quality time and family time is key. Now, by spending early morning, travel time studying, they can come back home and they can happily spend time with their loved ones, meaning they're getting a great balance in life. At the weekend, however, it becomes slightly different. Most people want to spend time with their family. This is what the wealthy do. They understand the importance of family time, but they also recognize the value of study and lifelong learning. So what they do is on a Saturday or on a Sunday, whilst the family is still asleep, most of them will wake up roughly about 2 hours early, between 1 and 2 hours early, before the family wakes up. Some of them will wake up at roughly about 7, some will wake up at 6:30, so that by 8 a.m. in the morning, when everyone else is getting up, they have already been able to invest about 2 hours in learning. Now, as the family are getting ready, people are preparing, they stay there and they invest another 2 hours, which takes them to about 10 a.m. By 10 a.m. on a Saturday, sometimes on a Sunday, the average wealthy person has invested about 4 hours in study, in work, but in creating more opportunities. So that at 10 a.m., by the time they're done getting ready, having breakfast, spending time with the family, they've done all the investing in themselves. They can now spend the entire day having fun with the family. So the key thing I want to share with you is this. If you want to be wealthy, you have to invest a portion of your time every day, but also at the weekends. Now, the wealthy do not necessarily do this on Saturdays and Sundays. Most cases, Sundays are left to family days. Saturdays, they ensure that they put in 4 hours in themselves, and sometimes some of them have to work, but they invest in themselves. This is personal first, before they do professional. The key is, if you want to be wealthy, invest in yourself first. Develop the discipline of study, develop the appetite and the excitement of gathering what I call wisdom, because this is the key to the better future. I hope that's been useful.